Hey, what's going on guys, welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to solo QBD for lower levels and higher levels alike with different gear setups, just for anybody who has like certain gears, who can't afford certain weapons, that kind of stuff. I'll be going through two different setups for two different combat styles, and yeah, obviously explaining things where you can downgrade and where you can possibly upgrade. So be sure to throw this video a like, comment down below any other guides you want me to make, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. So guys, real quick, on screen are the recommended stats, but before I go through these I quickly want to mention that you need 60 summoning in order to enter the portal just to fight the QBD. So without 60 summoning you won't be able to fight her, and also what you want to do is do the Song from the Depths quest, because that unlocks a permanent damage reduction. If you don't do this quest, QBD will hit a lot harder on you, and if you are a lower level then that's going to make it 2 or 3 times harder just to get that first kill, which is the hardest bit, learning QBD. In terms of recommended stats, I have on screen right here says 80 combat stats. Anything lower than that you're just going to be getting wrecked and you won't be able to do enough DPS. 85 Herblow, that's really useful. You can boost to this to make super anti-fire potions, because they make it so that you don't have to wear an anti-fire shield, because if you don't have any anti-fire protection you're just going to get one bang that you're going to die instantly. So I definitely recommend that. And the the dungeoneering requirement that's on screen right now, level 90 dungeoneering, that's only if you don't have level 90 weaponry, tier 90 weaponry like Drygos, Ascensions or Seismics. Even though this guide I'm not going to be going through Mage, I'll go through all that stuff later. But if you don't have those kind of weapons, then the next best thing that you're going to be using is chaotic weaponries, which is why I have the level 90 dungeoneering requirement. And finally, at least level 67 summoning for a War Tortoise, which can hold food for you. If you have 88, you can bring a unicorn, or if you want to go for max DPS you can bring 87 summoning. You can have a nihil pouch, which are quite expensive, or even if you have 96 you could bring a pack yak, and 99 for a steel titan for just max DPS. It all depends, but 67 summoning at least is really useful. So on screen you can see two different melee setups that I have for you guys. There's the standard God Wars Dungeon armor, and there is the maximum DPS. Now with the standard God Wars Dungeon armor, I obviously have Bandos and Tokharkal, Drygos, all that kind of standard stuff, a Vampirism aura and a Sign of Death. You can also replace that with the Sign of Life. This is the setup that you want to be using if you don't have max gear and you want to go for kills and you don't want to go for max DPS, because in the max DPS gear you can get kind of wrecked. This is for people who are just starting out. Obviously if you don't have Drygos you can bring Chaotix, you can sub them in, and if you don't have Bandos then there's something wrong with you, because it's so dirt cheap. You can literally go any boss for 2 hours and you've got enough for Bandos. The gear setup, or the inventory setup is just similar. If you don't have overloads, obviously bring extremes, or I wouldn't recommend it with supers really. If you have 85 then you should be able to boost up to make some extremes. And super anti-fire potion, as I mentioned, there's 6 prayer potions flasks right there, captain's log to teleport to the player on ports, to bank quickly, and a pack yak which is full of food, and fill the rest of your inventory with food. Now for max DPS gear, obviously I've got the maximum melee DPS right now, which is Superior Elite Void. Obviously that's just standard. I've got a Steel Titan with the scrolls in my inventory, Captain's Log to bank, which is standard, and also I've subbed 4 Rocktails and quite a lot of the prayer potions for some Saradomin brews. This because Rocktails actually reduce your adrenaline, and that's not really good when you're going for max DPS. And also QBD doesn't hit like amazingly hard, get you down really low. In Void sometimes she does, but you can just use those brews when you don't want to lose any adrenaline. And the adrenaline flask right there, really nice for after you berserk or use any ultimate. It just gets your adrenaline back up really quickly, so you can do some amazing DPS with those thresholds. So it's basically the same deal with the range setup. The inventories are exactly the same for the standard and the max DPS. If you notice those weird looking bolts in my bolt rack, they are actually Dragonbane bolts. I made a guide on how to get those. I'll put the link to that in the description. You need to have done the Ritual of the Marjarak quest, and you have a certain smithing and mage requirement to make those, but there's a full guide on that in the description which I made earlier. The gear setups are different. Now for the max DPS gear, I currently don't have my Ascensions, so replace that Royal Crossbow with Ascensions if you do have them. If you're going for your first kill and you do have Ascensions, then you can wear Armadillo obviously and take those Ascensions with you, try and get those kills. It's really quite a lot easier with range, as I will go through some of the QBD's attacks. While you're standing at a distance from her, it makes the kill quite a bit easier, even though it might be slower if you don't have max gear. I recommend, if you're going for the first time, take range with you, even if you don't have Dragonbane bolts and only level 80 Royal Crossbow, just to get a feel of QBD. And then if you want to obviously go for those high hits and you want to go for some quick kills without having Dragonbane bolts, Drygos are going to be the way to go with that awesome DPS. And obviously, as I said before, in Void you're going to be getting hit quite a bit more, but your DPS is just going to be absolutely insane. Superior Elite Void right now is the best DPS gear, so you want to be taking that. And also Steel Titan or Nihil Familiar, or you can take a Yak if you're going for the standard non-max DPS route for longer trips, but also obviously longer kills. So guys, this is a quick map overhead view of what you're going to see when you go in. You will obviously spawn on the platform, which is number 1, and as soon as you damage down QBD and the bar is empty, you finish that phase, you click on artifact number 1. You should have a message in your inventory, in your chat box, saying something like concentration waivers. Then you click on artifact number 1, you damage it down phase 2, and then click on number 2, which is the bottom left, and then the same with phase 3. And then after you finish the kill, you click on the last artifact and you're done. The stairs should spawn and you go down them, get your loot. That's basically the gist of it. So right now I'm going to be going through some of QBD's special attacks, just so you know what it means whenever she does a special attack, and when you get a message in your chat box. For every special attack she does put a message in your chat box, which is quite visible because of the colors that they have. So yeah, let's go through them real quick. So guys, when you see this orange message in your chat that says the Queen Black Dragon takes a huge breath, that means she's going to do a firewall, as you can see on screen right now. She can do this any phase. Obviously Queen Black Dragon has 4 phases. On the first phase she will do 1, second phase she will do 2, and third and fourth phase she can do 3. Now the way to dodge these perfectly is to run into the gap that you can see. There's only 3 places where the gap can spawn, so you want to learn those and have some reference points just to make it easier. But if you don't want to have to run at the gap and stand there, then you can actually run a bit away, and then if you run straight through the firewall instead of standing there, you will take 1 hit of 750 if you have an anti-fire potion active. If you stand there, you will take 2 hits of the 750 from the firewall. So that's a clip on screen of 1 firewall, so I'll quickly just play a clip of 2 and you see what's going on with that. Just so it's the same thing really, it's just that there's more than 1. So if you decide to run through them, you'll get hit twice, 1 by each firewall. But if you just stand there, I'm telling you now, you will get hit 1500 damage. Just really quick here, you can see there's going to be 2 firewalls because it is phase 2 instead of 1. So run away if you want to run away from it to take less damage, but if you want to stand there, you can take the 1.5k from each firewall like a boss. But if you run through it, you will take 750 damage, or if you go to the gap, then you obviously take no damage. And this is why it's a bit easier with range, because with melee you have to stand there and that kind of stuff. But yeah, 2 firewalls and then 3 on phase 3 and 4. So guys, next up we have what is probably the most annoying special attack of QBD. In the chat pack I say that she has summoned several of her captive tortured souls. On phase 2 she can spawn 1, on phase 3 she can spawn 2, and on phase 4 she can spawn 4. Now when they spawn, they will stand there for a bit, and after I believe is 1 tick, which is like 1.2 seconds, they will spawn a black dot that goes towards you, and if it hits you, it will hit you for around 1.5 to 2k damage. But you can actually mitigate this by running through a tortured soul or a grot worm at the right time. The black dot will hit them and damage them for the same amount of damage instead of damaging you, which is actually really nice. You gotta be careful of these guys, because on phase 4, when 4 of them spawned, that's at least 5k damage and it can down you really quickly. Another thing that these guys can do, which is only on phase 4 by the way, when 4 of them spawn, if you don't kill them fast enough, one of them will teleport to either the east or the west corner, and they will have a chat box over their head saying hurry, kill me quickly, that kind of stuff, time's running out. And if you don't kill them within, I believe you have 30 seconds, which is more than enough time to kill them. If you don't kill them, you will actually get time stop, which is a special attack on phase 4 where you're stuck, you can't eat anything, you can't take anything out of your familiar, you can't attack QBD, but damage will still be being dealt to you and she'll still be doing her specs for, I believe it is 30 seconds or 10 seconds. It's quite a bit, so you just want to make sure you kill the tortured soul that has that chat box above his head as soon as possible. Kill all of them ASAP obviously, because they do damage over time, but kill that one in the corner to give him priority, because otherwise you're going to get time stop and that's an easy KO. And just when you thought the tortured souls were out of all their tricks, not really. If you don't kill the tortured souls in time, basically I believe it's about a minute you have, which is more than enough time to kill them because they're really weak. But if you don't kill them, then actually QBD starts to siphon off them, which means that they lose their health. I believe it's like 250 or 25 per tick, or like 3 of those. They lose their health quite quickly basically, and it goes straight back onto QBD. So if you don't kill them enough, you're just healing QBD for a total of 2k if you don't damage the tortured souls at all. But you don't really need to worry about that. If you do enough DPS, you can easily hit a 2k with a threshold ability, so I wouldn't really worry about this. But if you do leave the tortured souls out for long enough, they're going to be doing damage over time with the black spots. So obviously kill the tortured souls as soon as you see them and make sure you don't get one banged. Now this final special attack is where melees are really quite hindered. If you see the message, it says she gathers her strength to breathe extremely hot flames. This is only on phase 4. Well, as soon as he says this, you have to run to one of the sides, either east or west, and make sure you're there, because if you're in the middle while this is going on, you'll be hit for constant 2Ks, but if you're on the sides, you'll only get hit for 750s. And because rangers can still attack while this is going on, it makes range quite a bit easier, and melees can be hit for constant 2Ks, and they can't do any DPS obviously while they're on the side because they're too far. So yeah, if you are a ranger, this is quite easy for you. It's just standard, you got to move out the way. But if you're a melee, then you've got to make sure you get out the way, because those constant 2Ks, they can down you quite quickly. Now the next two things that the QBD can do only happen in phase 3 and 4. She can either harden her Caparus or take a crystalline form. Now when she hardens her Caparus, as you can see on screen, she takes a green purpley color and a green message will come up. This is where melee and range damage is reduced, but mage damage is increased. So it's not good for this guide where you were only focusing on melee and range, and it's not good for Steel Titan familiars also, because they only use range and melee. But all it is just takes less damage to certain combat styles, in this case melee and range when she hardens her Caparus, or she takes less damage to mage when she has crystal, until the end of the phase. When you change the phase, obviously she will change back to her normal state. This can only happen in phase 3 and 4. And crystal, I'll repeat it again, crystal is where she's weaker to range and melee, and hardened Caparus is where she's weaker to mage. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. You are now fully equipped with Uzi's badass solo QBD guide. You know everything about QBD that you need to know to go get some kills. Be sure to put down in the comments your reactions and how it went for you guys. If it was your first try, if this guide helped, I'd love to see that in the comments down below, helping you guys out. Anything you think I missed out, be sure to put that down in the comments. Any questions you still have, I'll hopefully answer all of those. I have done QBD for a while. It's not really the hardest boss for most high level PVMers, but I know there's quite a few people who struggle with this, so I decided to make this very in-depth guide for you guys. Obviously, as I said like 3 times now, questions in the comments. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, you thought it was good, throw this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more PVM content. Peace out.